Well, I mean, this is the evidence we've been seeing from Mr. Bates. Joining us right now is former sub-postmaster Tim Brentnell. He was accused by the Post Office of stealing £22,000. Thank you for joining us, Tim.
Good afternoon.
I appreciate your time. The inquiry's been going on for a number of years, trying to get to the bottom of this. The real focus, obviously, will happen since that ITV drama, when, basically politicians, the media, most of the public kind of woke up to this. Although, again, people were aware of this beforehand, but the sheer scale of it and the human impact of it, perhaps not really being felt. But we did see more than 900 sub-postmasters and mistresses prosecuted due to that faulty Horizon system. We know people have lost their lives. People took their own lives as well in the hunt to get justice. Are you hopeful at all that what is being heard in this inquiry, whether it's from Mr. Bates today, we know Lord Arbuthnot, who's played a crucial role as an MP in campaigning, and when we actually hear from, the former chair and other very senior figures in the Post Office, that we are ever going to get completely to the bottom of who knew what when and what action did they or did they not take?
Well, I have confidence in the inquiry. A lot of what's made the news in the last few weeks, since January, us involved in it have known for quite a while, and it took the drama for it to land with the public.
Yeah.
There's lots of information and things still to be found out. As you said, who knew what and when. One of the most important phases in the next part, I think, is when we see the two gentlemen from Second Sight who really started to get to the bottom of what was wrong with the Post Office back in 2012 when they were brought in, and when they started to get too close to the truth, were promptly sacked by the Post Office.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because there have been investigations into this and questions raised again and again over the years, over the decades, and lies were told, and people who got close just sort of disappeared. There are people who are going to be giving evidence to the inquiry who've never spoken publicly at all about what they knew. And of course, they're going to be speaking under oath, so we're hopefully going to get something. But of course, all the people coming to give evidence, including Paula Venables, the former chair, basically left under a terrible cloud after not just, what a treatment of the sub-postmasters mistresses, but also running the business into the ground. Some of these people could indeed face subsequent criminal charges. So we know, the CPS and others will be watching their evidence. There is a risk, of course, that some of these people might say, I refuse to give evidence if it might actually lead to a criminal prosecution. Is that a concern for you?
Yeah, very much a concern. There's evidence come out recently with secret recordings being released of a lot of people in high positions in the Post Office knew full well that they were defending the indefensible. I fully expect those people to have been fully legally briefed before they get to the inquiry, and as you said, very much give the answer that they're not going to incriminate themselves.
That is a real concern, isn't it? How does it feel all these years on? You're an ordinary bloke, you're doing a job, you're just going about your daily life, and you're then accused of a crime, which means, the end of, the end of your career in that way, and huge sum of money, £22,000, a huge sum of money as well. It is, we're used to incompetence, aren't we? And bloody-mindedness from a lot of public bodies and businesses, and just sort of the hopelessness. You always have that feeling, if I could just speak to the one person who's in charge, there must be one person who could sort this all out and everything would be okay. The evidence that's come out in recent months suggests that so many people knew that what was going on was a terrible, terrible travesty of justice. They knew that people's lives were being ruined, people losing their marriages, their families, people taking their lives, people going to prison, getting criminal records as well. How does it feel, as one of the victims of this, to know that this happened and that those people who did this to you and who knew it was being done to you and knew it would be done to you and knew for years it had been done to you, are still just walking around, living their lives freely?
It is horrible. I mean, as Alan's evidence this morning, even as recent as that shows, they weren't interested in helping us. Everyone in the Post Office seemed to be just interested in protecting either their system or their brand. We fought for 20 years to clear our names. those people seem to exist without any kind of consequence on them. But the CEOs and the board members of the post office, some of them are still in position in the board for the last 10 years. Others have been allowed to go on to other board jobs. It just seems like it's without defining it as a gender, but they're saying, it's an old boys club.
Yep.
And it seems like, oh dear, you've made a mess of that one. Have a go at this one instead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the merry-go-round of all those directors' jobs and completely unbothered by the consequences of their actions. I don't know how these people sleep at night, do you?
They seem to be quite happy to pass the buck, whether it's because of their conscience or it's indicative of big corporations. Everyone seems to feel that it's someone else's responsibility.
Yeah.
that wasn't my fault.
Yeah. Or I didn't personally do it to you, so I've got no reason why I should sort of take any action to stop it. Are you hopeful, just finally, that at the end of all this, and again, these inquiries take an age, they cost a fortune, criminal prosecutions, if and when they happen, will take an age and cost a fortune, that there will be some proper justice, not just compensation for all the people who deserve it, but also, frankly, people going behind bars for what they did?
I think there needs to be, because all of us that have been prosecuted by the post office, nearly 900 of us, have totally lost faith in the justice system, which is supposed to be one of the greatest justice systems in the world. So that really needs to be put right, and people need to be held accountable to give everyone faith again that we do have a decent justice system in this country.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Apologies, Tim Brentnell. My eyesight's going. I really appreciate
Thank you,
joining
Julia.
us. Thank you very much. I hope you do get that justice.